beyond the sky. How can you dare to try? How can you fight through doubt and fear? How can you make your path clear? Ask how, and your power will rise.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a huge question. How in the world do you protect one of the most vital ecosystems on Earth, the Amazon rainforest? You know, it's a story of incredible scale, really innovative technology, and some pretty surprising alliances. So let's get right into it.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The Brazilian Amazon alone is massive. It's a vast, super remote, and often kind of lawless frontier. So how on earth do you even begin to enforce environmental laws there? It seems like an impossible problem, right? Well, it turns out Brazil has been developing some absolutely fascinating answers. And the stakes really couldn't be higher. This right here is what we're talking about. These satellite images show a vibrant green forest transformed into cleared land, you can see it here in purple, in what feels like the blink of an eye. To fight this, Brazil put together a pretty complex strategy, and it all started with an eye in the sky. Okay, so the first piece of this puzzle is a super high-tech surveillance system. Brazil basically realized, you can't police what you can't see, so they decided to give themselves a kind of God's eye view of the entire rainforest. It's called DETER. It was developed by Brazil's Institute for Space Research, and you can think of it as a real-time security camera for the whole Amazon. It's using satellites to constantly scan for any changes in the forest cover, and it flags new clearings as potential hotspots for illegal activity. Pretty clever. But here's the thing. The real power of this system is its speed. Seeing the problem is one thing, but DETER lets law enforcement respond almost immediately, and this is absolutely crucial. Because if agents can catch illegal loggers right in the act, they can hit them with much harsher penalties, like seizing their super expensive equipment. That's a huge financial blow. Of course, no system is perfect. DETER's satellites use optical imagery, and that means they have one major weakness. They can't see through clouds. And here's the crazy part. This very problem became the key to proving just how effective the system really is. So take a look at this map from January. This is during the rainy season. That huge swath of blue you see, that's all cloud cover. And notice, there are very few of those little red dots, which are the deforestation alerts. The clouds are essentially giving cover for illegal activity. Now, by April, the weather starts to shift. And as those clouds move, look what happens. You get this explosion of red alerts popping up in the areas that are suddenly visible. The system is catching up, and it's giving law enforcement a flood of new targets to go after. And if we fast forward to July, in the dry season, the view is way clearer, and you can see the alerts spread all across the region. It just perfectly shows this constant cat and mouse game being played between the satellites, the weather, and the people clearing the forest. Now this is where it gets really fascinating. Researchers use this cloud problem as a kind of natural experiment. By comparing deforestation in cloudy areas versus clear ones, they could actually measure the direct impact of enforcement. And the results? When monitoring is blocked by clouds, deforestation jumps by an estimated 44%. That's concrete proof that this eye in the sky really works. But look, technology by itself is never enough, right? Especially when you've got these powerful economic forces pushing in the other direction. So the second part of Brazil's strategy meant tackling the economic engine of deforestation head on. The numbers here are pretty stark. A massive driver of all this deforestation is clearing forests for cattle ranching. As the global demand for beef keeps growing, so does the pressure on the Amazon. So to solve this problem, you've got to follow the money. So this market-based solution, being pioneered in states like Para, is a system of cattle traceability. The best way to think of it is like a passport for every single cow, tracking its entire life journey to make sure it was never, ever raised on illegally cleared land. And the process is actually simple but incredibly powerful. First, every animal is tracked. Second, the system verifies that the ranches it came from are clean, and it often uses data from that very same DETR satellite system we just talked about. See how it connects? And finally, if it all checks out, the beef gets certified as sustainable. This completely flips the economic incentive. In the old way, you made your profit by clearing more and more land. But with the new way, profit comes from sustainable practices, because that's what gets you access to premium global markets and major buyers who are demanding this kind of transparency. It literally turns the supply chain from a driver of deforestation into a guardian of the forest. But there's a final and honestly a crucial piece to this whole puzzle. And it's not about new tech or new markets. It's about recognizing the incredible power of the people who have been protecting the Amazon for millennia. This number, it's just staggering. A World Bank report estimates that traditional indigenous territories contain 80% of our planet's remaining biodiversity. These communities are, and they have always been, the forest's most effective guardians. And the data totally backs this up. A study in the Peruvian Amazon found that when indigenous communities were given the formal legal title to their ancestral lands, forest clearing in those areas dropped by over 75%. Empowering these communities is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful conservation tools we have. And this goes so much deeper than just policy. As researcher Andrea Bravo Diaz puts it, for forest peoples, their entire identity is tangled up with the forest. So protecting the land isn't just about the environment, it's about protecting a culture, an identity, a whole way of life. So, as we've seen, it's not just one of these strategies that holds the key. The real power, the real secret sauce, comes from weaving them all together into one comprehensive plan. So when you put it all together, the picture becomes really clear. You've got this top-down government tech like DETER, then you have market incentives that turn big business into an ally, and finally, you have community-led conservation from the forest original guardians. This powerful combination is what really offers a path forward. Which really leaves us with a big question. We've seen how this multi-pronged strategy is making a difference in the Amazon, so could this be the blueprint for protecting vital ecosystems all over the world? A model that combines technology, economics, and community rights? What do you think? Could this model work somewhere else? Let us know what you're thinking in the comments. And hey, if you found this interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives just like this one. Thanks so much for watching this explainer. I really hope it gave you a new perspective on this critical issue. We'll see you next time.
How can you reach beyond the sky? How can you dare to try?